One of the things that we love about, like, we love going over all, like, the small towns, big towns, all of our favorite things, the hidden gems of Wisconsin. However, thank you, Dave. Sometimes we also wanted to kind of take a step back and talk about the people who are moving to Wisconsin, have recently moved here, maybe have started living here, moved away, moved back. There's a lot to really know, I think, just in general, when you're fully uprooting your life and moving states and taking on new careers. So we thought we would bring on a very fun perspective from actually, I don't think many people understand the full scope of Discover Wisconsin, but our new brand manager, Nicole Martin. Welcome to the cabin.
Hello.
Great to have you here, Nicole.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We're excited because you've never been on this half of, I think, the cameras in general. So it's pretty exciting to have you kind of come out of your
behind the scenes person.
You're a very analytics driven person. So we're excited to like push you in front of the camera today, which is very exciting for us. And to that, I have to say, you have a really interesting background in general, but also how you got to become the brand manager and work for Discover Wisconsin. Can you kind of explain a little bit of some of the other like TV shows you've worked on that's led you here?
I know of one.
We all know the first one. We know that for sure.
I know the third.
First one, Schitt's Creek.
When you said you worked on like the staff of Schitt's Creek, I was like, what?
Yes. Yeah, I did analytics and I also worked on their focus groups. And here's our end of the season little.
Oh, that's
cool. If you guys are watching the YouTube version. So they gave us these little snow globes.
Nice.
Oh, the
for the end of the whole series.
Oh, the motel. I love it.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Which I think is also ironic because in the whole series, you never see snow.
Yeah, so the snow globe is ironic.
Yeah. So I've got Hollywood Darlings, Hot Date, Flack, Big Brother After Dark, Conan, Angie Tribeca, Sullivan and Son with Vince Vaughn, Leverage, Glory Days, The Closer, Major Crimes, Rizzoli and Niles, Franklin and Bash, King of the Nerds, The Pete Holmes Show, Men of a Certain Age, Dark Blue, Southland, Falling Skies.
That's a lot
Dallas,
of shows.
Perception, Mob City, The Last Ship, Legends, Murder in the First, Librarians, Cold Justice, Inside Job.
Nice.
You have a lot of TV experience,
Mercy.
Nicole.
My wife and I are a big fan of Hot Date.
Oh, so I mean, clearly we're very excited because we got to steal you for your expertise after working like in LA for such a long time and on all these different shows. But you actually are originally from Wisconsin, correct?
Yes, I am from Audio Dave's town as well, Green Bay.
All right.
Woo!
Where in Green Bay?
I'm a West Sider.
Okay. All right. I'm a Swamico cider.
Oh.
But like you said, you moved away. You were in LA for 14 years and you just so recently, within the last year, moved back. And that's what we thought would be kind of fun, and just about like getting the perspective of people who have, are moving to the state for the first time or moving after a long time. Nicole, what do you wish that you would have known before you moved back?
Oh, that is a good question. So I think part of it too is when you move back, it feels new, but also feels the same.
Okay.
So I think it's less of what I knew, but more of things I forgot about.
That's fair.
Like, for instance, the weather.
Yes.
I feel like I'm still acclimating.
Yeah, look, so when you're living in Allah, do you miss the change of seasons much, or are you too busy enjoying the 72 and smog?
I did. That was one of the first things I missed when I moved out there, was all the seasons. Because that's how you can tell how many years have gone by.
Sure.
That's
if it's
true.
summer the whole time, 10 years feels like 2.
Really, there's so many things about Wisconsin that you do have to get acclimated to. Other than the weather, what were some of the big things that you had to reacclimate to?
Oh, yeah. Some of it is the culture and the people, which I didn't really realize until like a month into it since being here. I'm like, oh, yeah, it does have a different vibe. And even like the friendliness, like walking around LA, you go around, you don't look at anybody. You just walk, you have your purpose. You don't really smile and wave at people.
Sounds like New York.
Yeah, I've had that like notion in my head. So I'm walking out here and people are like, hi. Why are they talking to me? Oh, that's right. Because Wisconsin's the friendliest state. So of course they're going to talk to you.
Well, it depends too. I mean, if you're wearing a Bears shirt.
All right, well, don't make a rookie mistake. But,
There's things to watch out for as well.
Sure. I like it. I do also just want to mention what I think is really fun. And I know we've given a lot of really specific love to Madison and this whole thing, but I do think it's very interesting. 2 things. Number one, Madison has very recently in the last couple of weeks been named the #1 best town to live in by livable.com, which is
Yeah.
like a big thing to do. Like I think it says so much about both like the friendliness, the cleanliness, the cost of living per your analysis spreadsheet, transportation, all that fun stuff. But also I saw in the throes of the pandemic in I think it was like maybe it's December 2020, I saw LinkedIn came out with a report. And so take it with a grain of salt that it was a LinkedIn report, and they were watching, how you can have like your city location tag on LinkedIn. The number one city that saw the most amount of like influx was Madison, Wisconsin. So it had like the top 10 cities people were moving out of and into throughout the pandemic. Madison was number one, and Milwaukee was number like 6 or 7.
For those who have just moved to Wisconsin and aren't familiar with any of the kind of classic recommendations of the state, Nicole, what are some things that like when you moved here, you were excited to go check out?
Oh, I think it was revisiting things. And it was also weird because I moved during the pandemic, so a lot of stuff was closed. So everything I wanted to check out might not be existing anymore. So it's kind of seeing, what is still out there and what's new that's popping up, because there's a lot of new stuff now that's coming out, especially so many towns are doing those renovations of the downtown areas.
Oh, yeah.
So there's so much more. But I mean, I do have to say, while there are a lot of Scotties out in LA, a big Packer scene there does not compare to going back to a game. I was at the game this last weekend.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, you went nice.
And then outside of sports, I'm always looking for, like, where's the music, the live music? Where's the comedy? Where's the art museums and galleries?
Comedy is a great one. I think we have a really underrated like stand-up comedy rotation here, and that's I think always a great place to like. That's very like-minded people.
And there's
if you're
so many
finding,
great comedians from Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
And a lot of great writers. I mean, you've said it yourself too. When you go to LA and Hollywood and all that, a ton of the writers are from here, and that's why they work so many references into shows.
Yep.
Absolutely. Can you give any listener who found this episode because they are contemplating a move to Wisconsin one piece of advice?
Biggest piece of advice is, if you're thinking of moving, the question is, why not?
All right.
Go for it, explore, expand, and embrace the world.
Love that.
And the winters aren't that bad.
They're not that
They
bad.
can be long, but they're not that bad.
Plus, there's a lot of places that are inside.
And there's a ton of activities you can do inside.
And challenge yourself to see what like outdoor activities are like in the winter, because as long as you're
Yeah.
bundled up, you can have some fun out in the snow.
Or just get
yeah.
into brandy like the rest of us.
Oh, I'm definitely going to take that snowshoe off the wall and take that outside
I
this
know.
winter.
Oh my gosh. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us in the cabin. I'm so glad we got to steal you away from analytics for a day. And thanks for sharing some good inspiration and tips for people as they make the decision to move to Wisconsin.
Yeah, thank you for having me.